If you read the instructions here, it says backwards M1 number sign //. So I'm pretty sure that means put one coat on. Yeah, there's a fucking bird's nest in there too. We are back on the V8 Honda CRX. I got a ton of parts in for this thing. I got all of my lights, headlights, turn signals, tail lights. We're gonna have to do some work on the tail lights though. You cannot find original CRX tail lights that aren't like $700 or $800, which is crazy to me. So I bought a cheap clear set that looks really tacky, but I also bought some tail light paint. So we're gonna get creative with those. I got my electric fans in. I got my alternator bracket so we can get our alternator on. New fenders, patch panels for the quarter panels because both my quarter panels are shit, and there's a bunch of other stuff that came in. So we got a lot of things to do. Also, I'm gonna have sheet metal coming in tomorrow morning so we can start doing the floor as well. But before we do any of that, we still have some chatter. Oh my God. It's raining really hard outside, and apparently my floor is leaking again. Damn it, I thought we fixed that. We did not, apparently. I still have some chatter whenever I put it in gear. It's fine in park, it's fine in neutral. When I go to put it in gear, I have some chatter that sounds like the bell housing or the flywheel is rubbing. Now, right now we have an engine mount in the very front, in the very rear, and I've heard that that can cause some flex, and that could be the issue. But I'm also worried that maybe I have a stripped torque converter bolt, maybe they've worked themselves loose, maybe the torque converter's cracked. There's a bunch of different options it can be. So what we need to do before we do anything is get this baby jacked up in the air so I can get underneath it and see what the hell is going on. So let's do that first. That was a very loud thunder lightning above my head. So yeah, sorry, getting distracted with the river coming through the shop right now. But yeah, let's get this baby jacked up and see if we can't find out what the hell is going on with this. Great news, flywheel is not broke, torque converter bolts are not loose, everything looks perfect under there, but pulled my starter out and the front of my starter ring gear is cut up a little bit, so I think it is rubbing on the flywheel. I couldn't see this whenever it was under the car. It looked okay, but I was really just kind of looking from this angle. Whenever you actually get it out, you can see the front end's chewed up. What's cool, this is one of these, I don't know, hot rod performance starters, and they come with different shims. So what I did was I actually put some shims in here that has pushed this back. You know, I'm talking like a 1/16 of an inch or something, but that should be enough. But I am going to hit these with a grinder real quick just to take the sharp edges off, because if they do drag again, I don't want them to chip a tooth. We're going through that right now with my 69 Blazer, and I got to pull the whole transmission out to fix it, so we do not want to do that again. So also, one of the bolts was missing on this, so I think it was a little bit loose. So we're going to get this all buttoned back up, thrown in there, and hopefully fix our problem. All right, I got the starter back in. It looks way better than it did, but I do need starter shims to bring it down some. But the starter shim in the actual gear gave me a ton of clearance, but it's still a little bit too close, and I think that's just been my problem the whole time. So tomorrow, I'm going to go to the parts store, get some shims to drop that down a little bit. That will make it, I will almost guarantee that will fix the problem, which is nice, because I went into this thinking broken flex plate, you know, snapped bolt, torque converter issues, yada yada. Seems like all that looks fine. We just have a starter issue. And since it's so close, I think it's not disengaging all the time. I think it will sometimes and not others, and that's why the sound is just so random, because sometimes I won't hear it at all, and then I'll hear it every time I put it in gear. So either way, that should be good. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop my rear bumper off, probably take my tail lights out. We're going to start tackling some of this rust. Whenever we get the quarter panels done, I'm going to start on the floor tomorrow, because I'd like to drive it some more. And the open drive shaft is a little scary, to say the least. So I want to start tackling some metal work on this thing. Probably do the fenders as well. These people were mad whenever these fenders got dented, or, you know, I just wouldn't care about them. The whole reason I did that was because they were bad to start with, and I was always going to get new ones. New fenders on this thing are super cheap. I think these were like 80 bucks a piece or something. I mean, they weren't bad at all. So let's start fixing some rust. And unfortunately, even though this is a Honda and not a, you know, vintage hot rod, it still has rust everywhere. So let's go. I knew this wasn't great, obviously, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it was this bad. I didn't know there was spray foam back here. There was some in the front, so I guess I should have expected it, but I didn't. Holy shit. Well, that's why this thing was 300 bucks or whatever it was. 400 bucks, I can't even remember. Oh, shit. Damn. Is that up the whole freaking quarter panel? Yep. Shit. There's a fucking bird's nest in there too. What was that? Look at the pile of shit. Damn! Oh, we're gonna cut some shit. So this is fitting about as well as a galvanized sheet would. This is just all I could find, man. But we're going to make it work. I don't need this whole piece. My rust is really just above the rim, or above the wheel well, rather. So I'm going to come in here and probably trim it way up there. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. I've had enough tonight. The rain finally stopped. We still have a river going through the shop, but it's not as bad as it was. So yeah, we're going to come in tomorrow, trim some shit, cut some shit, and get these things put in. It don't look bad. It's technically for, I think, a Civic, not a CRX, so it's a little different, but it's really, really close. It's enough to work with anyway. So yeah, but I think the bottoms are different from the Civics and the CRX, so it's a little funky down there, but the shape is still right. That's all I need. We'll hit her tomorrow, baby!
The next day.
This shit is so thin. Real shitty patch panel, but we gotta do what we gotta do. These quarter panels are not fitting great, I'll tell you that. I need something round. That looks a lot better. All right, passenger side is done. This was the harder side. Patch panels are shitty, thin, galvanized. I don't love them. We still made it work. I could metal finish this out if it was regular steel. I am not going to metal finish it since it's galvanized. I'm already welding with a respirator on because if you breathe the smoke from this shit, you can get sicker than hell. It is not fun. I've grounded all the coating off, so I should be okay, but still not taking any chances. And what's good on the driver's side, it's really only bad, you know, about halfway back. This whole corner is 10 times better than it was on the other side. If they were better patch panels, I'd use the whole thing. Since they're kind of shitty, I'm just gonna probably go from here over. Like I said, if it was a better patch panel, I still would go ahead and do the whole thing, but this is all really good. This down here I thought was rust, but it's actually just bubbling, so we can grind that down a little bit. So we should be fine, but I'll know more once I get this shit ground down. We can see, you know, I'm sure it's hiding something, because everything else on this damn car is hiding something. But yeah, let's figure it out. Okay. Alright. Let's get this cleaned up and we're calling it a day. Oh, what a fit. Both sides done, rust fixed. Very, very happy. This was way more work than I thought it was going to be. Not only because of how bad the rust was, but because of how crappy those patch panels were. But it looks pretty damn good now. And I actually brought the lip out, I don't know, ½ inch, maybe an inch. So we're going to be able to run a lot wider tire. We were going to run wider rims back here anyway, but looks good. Tomorrow, the old man's coming down here. We're going to get these front fenders put on. I'm going to have him help me center them because my hood gap and shit is horrible right now. So I want to get that done. And then hopefully we can get going on the floor. Finally got some sheet metal in. I thought it was 16 gauge, which is way too thick, but I think it's 18, but boy, it seems thick. But that's good for floor. It's rough when you need to bend it. 16 does not bend very well, and I need to make a drive shaft tunnel. So yeah, we'll figure that out after we get the front end done. We'll be back tomorrow.
The next day.
All right, the old man was going to come down here and help me, but it is currently the 4th of July. You might be able to still hear stuff going off, but we didn't have time. We had a party and whatnot, so I'm in here tonight myself, hoping to get this damn video out tomorrow for Richard the cop. Hopefully he's not out, you know, arresting kids for playing with sparklers or some shit. So I got the old fenders off. They are so beat up. The passenger one, I didn't even realize was in a bind. I couldn't even get it off. I had to like kind of hit it because it was just sunk in there really bad, but got them off now. We're going to throw the new ones on. Hopefully we can get the hood fitting a little bit better, but I think some of my hood problems are the fact that I don't have all the bolts in over here. Hopefully. I don't know. One of them is snapped off and rusted, so that doesn't make it super easy. But yeah, let's see if we can get some shit fitting a little bit better than it was before. All right, fenders are on. They fit a lot better than the quarter panel patches do, but still need some work. I have everything adjusted as far as I can both ways, and my gap is just a little bit too big, but it is 10 times better than it was, but it's still a little bit too big. We're gonna have to fine tune that. The old man's been a body man for 40 years, so we're gonna leave that up to him. That's kind of his expertise. I did find out my inner fender was hitting this fender, so no matter how much adjustment I put on it, it just would not go in more. So I had to tweak that a little bit, but after I got it cut, it's looking a lot better. I was gonna start on the floor, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and wait to do that on the next video because it's gonna be, I mean, 40 hours of work probably to even get started on it. I still don't know exactly how I want to do it. I think I'm just going to put a flat piece back there. I was going to try and form all that around. I think just one big piece, and we might be able to take the center out like an access panel. I think that might work, and then we can just close this in and have a drive shaft loop. But we're going to do that on the next video. What I want to do today is get this thing on the ground. Oh, also, I got the right starter shims put in. Do I have a dent in that? Oh no, okay, God. From right here, it looks like there's a giant dent in that fender, but it's just a handprint. I also got the right starter shims. Started up, I don't hear any grinding. I think we're good to go. I'll know more, obviously, whenever I put the gas tank back in and we fire it up. But for now, I'm gonna get my bumpers put on and I'm gonna start test fitting my lights, and we still have to paint the little cheapy generic Chinese lights. I'll open those up. I already know they look bad because I saw the picture. They're so 1990s Fast and Furious tacky, but like I said, we do have paint for them. So let's get this on the ground and start seeing if we can get some lights and some bumpers on. All right, check it out. I had to find these, and it was not as easy as I thought because I bought these headlights and turn signals probably 6 months ago, and I buy a shitload of car parts, so there's just boxes everywhere. A lot of them have been opened, obviously, but yeah, I couldn't find the turn signals for longer than I care to admit, but we got them all. They look perfect. These could not look any better. The taillights, however, or about as tacky as it comes. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, 16-year-old Casey would be like, holy shit, these are the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. Casey in his 30s is like, ugh. So, like I said before, stock taillights, I had no idea, by the way. These were broke anyway. I didn't break them. They were already broke whenever I got it. There's sets on eBay for $900. And when I first saw them, I was like, oh, that's just people, you know, putting a crazy listing price on there. They're not going to sell them. If you go through the sold listings, no, people are actually buying them $700, $800, $900. There's a set on there right now, as I'm recording anyway. Maybe it's gone. I think it was $600, and it has broken pieces. There's like a crack here, a chip over there. This piece is just kind of broke. The mounting tabs are gone off the back, so you couldn't even mount it. You'd have to glue some mounts on there for $600. So yeah, I don't know. If this whole paint job thing doesn't work out, maybe I'll find a set somewhere, luckily. But what we're gonna do is I have some red paint and some orange paint that matches basically the stock layout. And I'm going to scuff these with some, like, I don't know, 1000 grit or something. You just want to kind of get it a little scuffy so it can grab. The paint can grab, but you can't. It's real easy to get sand scratches whenever you're essentially painting something like a glass piece, or like if you would be painting chrome. Yeah, you can't get too aggressive. I'm going to tape them off. The stock ones are pretty simple. It just has, I think, yellow from like here and over. And I might tweak that because I don't know how good the yellow will go over this red. So we might have to maybe just do yellow on the corner. I don't know. We'll figure something out. And then in the stock ones, it's white kind of here in this section. Probably for that. Is that a bulb? Yeah, probably for your backup lenses. I think it might have a little curve to it, but we just need to keep a little bit white there, and then all this is red. So really it's just a little bit of orange and everything else is red. And then, like I said, we'll tape off the clear white, whatever you want to call it. We'll tape off that so it stays. So it shouldn't be the end of the world. But the only time I've ever painted taillights, I was using the tint, where you just kind of tint them like a darker color, which looks really good. I've never actually painted the red before, so this is going to be a learning experience for us all. Let's figure it out. All right, I got everything sanded down, ready for paint. We're gonna be doing the orange first, obviously. I also got the clear parts taped off, or the white parts, whatever you wanna call it. You need to do the orange first, and then I can shoot everything else in red. And if you read the instructions here, it says backwards M, 1, number sign, backwards C, triangle, circle with a hole through it, upside down T, //. So I'm pretty sure that means put one code on really easily and then see how it goes from there and then do more codes. I'm fluent in Japanese and I'm almost certain that's what it says. So let's spray some shit. All right, we're gonna go real light coats and see what happens. Oh wow, it's darker than I thought. That is very thin. Let's put on like 6 coats and see what happens. All right, headlights are in, turn signals are in. Does not look bad. I think I might switch those to clear turn signals. I don't know, I don't hate them. Doesn't look too bad. Fitment is still horrible, but basically your whole headlight is dependent on how your fenders are fitting, so that's kind of wonky. Also, since we don't have a hood latch, it kind of just goes wherever it wants. Looks 10 times better than it did, which I am happy with, but they are not fitting great, to say the least. But we do have a front end on it, which is nice. I got entirely too impatient trying to paint these because they do not dry fast, so I went ahead and got them bolted up. And what I'm going to do now is paint them on the car, and then we can untape them and throw the bumper on and be done for the night. It is currently, I don't know, 5 in the morning. Which is not good whenever the video is supposed to go up at 1 p.m. So yeah, let's stop talking and get to painting. This came out way better than I was expecting. I mean, that looks really good, actually. And too impatient, there's still tape around the edges. It's still basically wet, but, you know, that happens. Bumper's just sitting there, but, oh, it looks good! Not in love with the front, but like I said, we can tweak some stuff. I think these will look better. I don't know, maybe it's just the black fender throwing me off, but I think those might look better clear, but... Ooh, she looks good. Let's drop it. Oh, wrong way. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Check out the fitment on those. I put spacers back on them. Oh, that looks way better than it did. I couldn't run the spacers before. It would just kind of catch the lip. But now it is perfect. I might need to roll the edge on the inside, but that's pretty damn good. The plan is to get a deeper dish wheel, but those look pretty damn good right there. I don't hate that. Cool, man. Yeah, that looks pretty bitchin'. I can't wait to paint it. Right now there's so many different colors, you know, throwing it off. You got bare metal, you got black, you got bare metal, you got rust. You got basically 3 different colors of red because they repainted the bumpers. But, man. Also, I've had people asking, what's the plan? Are you keeping it like rat roddy? No, we're doing a full-blown paint job on this thing. We're going to make it perfect, make it shine. I'm thinking like a candy apple red would be really cool. But, yeah. Oh, that looks bitchin'. Man, she looks good. I also realized whenever I was looking for the turn signals, I'm missing some of the trim I didn't realize I didn't have. I only have that rocker panel trim. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I only have that for the driver's side. I need to get it for the passenger side. I actually like the way the trim looks. Usually I don't, but they look good on this, and I'm gonna need to get the pieces for the fenders because those ones aren't really good. I don't know, I might be able to reuse them, but they look pretty shitty, so I'm gonna try and just buy new, and I know I don't have them in the back. Cool, man. That is a fucking cool looking car. I love this little bastard. Taillights came out way better than I was expecting. I mean, look at that thing. How do you not love it? In the next video, I'm gonna start on the floor. What we've been doing on the channel is I'm doing 2 videos in a row on each project. Instead of bouncing around from project to project every video, we're going 2 in a row. So my Tuesday video will be on the CRX, and the goal is to get the floor done. And once the floor is done, I can take it for a proper first drive. I didn't want to go too crazy the first time I drove it. I just took it basically down the block and back. It's a little scary when your drive shaft is sitting right next to your knee. I do have a drive shaft hoop in it, but still not good. You want it covered up, you know, so we're gonna do that with some sheet metal, get it buttoned up, and then hopefully take her for a real spin. I also think, knock on wood, is there wood in this shop? Holy shit, hey, there we go. Knock on wood, I think I got the chatter issue fixed. I think my starter was just shimmed all kinds of wrong, and since it's like a universal starter, I needed to add a couple shims internally to it. But the last time I started it earlier, about an hour or 2 ago, didn't make any noise at all, so I think we should be good there. So hopefully next video we get the floor done, take her for a drive, maybe put a mile or 2 on it and see how it does. So stay tuned for all that and more. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. Helps the channel grow a bunch. I also have a giveaway going on. There's only 1 week left in it right now. My 1965 Mustang that's on a 2005 BMW. That only has 1 week left in it, so go to Caseyscustoms.com. You can get into all that as well. Caseyscustoms.com for the coolest merchandise on the planet. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all that good shit they tell you at the end of videos, and check out some more of my other videos. Peace! I love you.